Hi everyone, it's Zach with Palantir Research. Huge announcement that I think is a major turning point for Palantir and their future trajectory, and I'll tell you why here. They announced their two mixed reality products. David Mara, Palantir's head of mixed reality, announced on LinkedIn the Palantir Mixed Reality Service and their ontology-powered Immersive Command and Control, or C2, application of mixed reality. Right now, this is for the defense application, so I'll make sure to go over how this makes it easier to carry over into the commercial space as well. And a major point of these products is that it's already deployable on all major devices. Now, the market likes this information alongside the new FedStart client I made a video on earlier, a $16.5 million deal with the Spanish military intelligence, as well as all the geopolitical events happening out in the Middle East. But right now, I'm going to focus on the video trailer release, and that's playing on here and shows kind of how this will be demonstrated. And importantly, it's going to be the engine running in the background on either the Android, Microsoft, or Apple's different VR headsets. Now, the MR or mixed reality plugins will be working with ontology to ensure the latest data tied together will actually be the most accurate display that can get them for a user. And as data is changing, terrain can update or become much more clearer. Now, this was already teased in the background at the S4G Summit, but it's great to see something official come out here, and it's no surprise the military applications of this kind of technology, as it is for visualizing the basics and the best of the best real-time information for the decisions on the battlefield, while tying in other relevant data as seen in the demo with munition supplies, time, and effectiveness. But as we all know, Edge AI is what Palantir has been using for a long time, especially with their satellite imagery. So even if data is cut off, there should be some sort of image completion percentage or accuracy for the user to let them know when they are getting into an area of more or less accuracy for the terrain visualization. Now, over time, it wouldn't be surprising to see this becoming widespread technology on the ground, near or around battlefields, as situations are adapting with new intel coming in. I can even see this becoming a standard issue for every boot on the ground, since it takes out the middleman out of mixed reality headset guy getting the full picture and then relaying information to someone, but rather everyone should be on the same page if they can all see the same thing. Now, honestly, this is huge in my opinion, because this kind of technology on the battlefield clears the fog of war in a literal sense that can give a bird's eye view of where partial or incomplete data is versus where there's more intel. Then being able to run simulations with the current data and changing data sets constantly in an active hotspot can show how the different actions can play out. Now, this is world-changing technology in my opinion, where soldiers have access to the most complete picture. So we'll see over time if this is starting to show up in active war zones, but it's really not a stretch of the imagination on the usefulness of mixed reality. And this has been imagined honestly in many futuristic war movies, but the software running it with the security protocols while running basically live was the major hurdle here. But compute and artificial intelligence has been catching up, and it's becoming more mainstream, so I'm not surprised that it's manifesting in this way in application. Now, the obvious applications outside of the military, which will probably come later on in my speculation, is not too far-fetched in the commercial sense. When you think of terrain, you already think of geology, oil and gas, mining, and a lot of these natural resource extraction fields. But it's no joke that once these different use cases are built out, I wouldn't be surprised to see a commercial product being announced and on the market. And it's not just visualizing a current state, but being able to run simulation on what certain groups of actions can produce and how they would turn out, and of course the different stats there. So quick example, if we have all the data on an oil field, what happens if we drill in the order of A, B, and C versus drilling in reverse of C, B, A? Is there a more cost-effective route with the labor, machines, weather, or anything, scheduling? Tying in all the data together and looking at it on a dashboard is one thing, but having the experienced personnel visualize and get the major data points can extend the human imagination and even come up with more optimal routes or forecast other variables that they weren't taking into account before without the help of the mixed reality headset. Then this is also stretched right now, but this can even come down to a consumer product way farther in the future in my opinion. But if that's an opportunity that Palantir would pursue or just be on the back end for, I'll leave it up to them in the future and speculation. So honestly, I don't want to hype it up right now to see how this all gets executed, but this is a game changer in my own opinion with military applications on how wars will be fought and at the individual soldier level, but also how the world will run business and commerce in the future, and maybe even into the individual consumers at one point, although that may be far off from now.